Hey, Summit Chasers, welcome to another episode of Voices of Impact, the podcast where you learn strategies to amplify your influence, impact, and how to take action towards your own purpose and mission. Today, I had the honor of speaking with Deven Patel, co-founder of the Global Institute of Stem Cell Therapy and Research. Deven opens up about their groundbreaking work creating revolutionary treatments for countless diseases by harnessing the power of regenerative medicine. He also shares the impact of pure intention in our thoughts, words, and actions, and the power of aligning our minds with our heart. Join us as we uncover the potential of stem cell therapy and Deven's refreshing outlook on living a fulfilled life. Get ready to be inspired. It starts right now. Hi, Deven. Thank you so much for being with me today. How are you?
I'm doing very well.
Amazing. I'm so excited to chat with you and just dive into who you are, what you're doing with GeoStar, and a little bit about your story. So to kick us off, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm Deven Patel. I'm the president, CEO, and a co-founder of Global Institute of Stem Cell Therapy and Research, known as GeoStar, based in San Diego, California. We are one of the oldest leading stem cell research institutes. It's founded by my partner, Dr. Anand Srivastava, and myself 23 years ago. And we've been working in the field of stem cell research for about 23, 24 years in San Diego, California.
That's incredible. What got you into stem cell research?
There was no reason for me to get into the stem cell research at all.
But how did you end up there?
I came to San Diego and wanted to do something new. California, the sun and the fresh air and everything. And I met my partner in our temple, Indian temple in San Diego. And he knew that I was involved in the community and the business and the local politics and everything. So my name, kind of people knew in general in our community that I'm a person who's involved in many different businesses and things and activities, philanthropic activities and all that. So he came to me in the temple and said, hey, look, I'm working on the science that is very new. Very few understand it. I'm not sure whether it's going to work or not, but this is what it can do, which is basically getting rid of the disease from the root cause. And I said, okay, well, then let's heal the world and let's take it to the world. That's all. That's our contract in the temple, literally in the temple.
That is so cool.
It's a divine intervention. You can say that.
Yeah, absolutely. How did you guys start when you first got your heads together and you actually started your company? What did that look like?
Actually, it was more of we didn't start our company right away because he was working in the universities doing his research, and this is brand new science. It's not even, he wasn't even sure whether this will work or not or how. Mm-hmm. So, we continued talking, and he was doing his research and in the different University of California, San Diego, Salk Institute, Barnum Institute, UCLA, UCRN, all these places he worked for. Quite a few years. And then in 2008, I think 2006, 2007, we started kind of say, hey, we need to build our own institute. We don't need to depend on anybody. And that led into creating Global Institute of Stem Cell Therapy and Research. So it's a process. It wasn't overnight. It's a few years that we've been talking. We're doing research. We're learning what works, what doesn't work, whether it'll work or not, all that. And once we have a good idea that this can really change the way we practice medicine, then we said, okay, now let's go on our own.
Yeah, I know stem cell research has been hugely impactful within medicine. What is it that you guys have seen right when you started to now?
Well, it's very interesting. If people used to call us, let's say in 2008, 9, 10, they would say, what is stem cell? Okay.
Right.
What is stem cell? They don't even know what is stem cell. Forget about stem cell science. And we were already in this science for 8 to 10 years, right? And somebody said, what is stem cell? Then 2000, let's say 15, they said, what does stem cell do? Mm-hmm. 2015. By the time we reach 2020-ish, people would say, hey, I have a diabetes, and can I get stem cell treatment and get rid of my diabetes? So that's the progression of the information to public.
Yeah.
Okay. And in 2024, we are right now in April 1st, 2024. And now it is very prevalent. People understand in general, still
Hmm.
awareness is not 100% there, but people know that their stem cell can treat many diseases. It may help in their condition. It may, because people have tried already everything, modern medicine, other medicine, different modalities, and they came to conclusion, now what do I have? Then you, at the end, you come to say, okay, stem cell, because there's no side effects, no surgeries, and no downtime. And when I say no side effects, means almost no side effects.
Yeah.
So that's the beauty. And the stem cell is a master cell of the body. Okay, from one cell, the entire body is created, right? So if this cell can create your entire body, means it can create your all the organs, skin, liver, blood, nervous system, whatever. And their job is to repair and regenerate anything that is damaged or degenerated. That's why it's called regenerative medicine, because its job is to
Hmm.
repair and regenerate anything that is damaged and degenerated. So why can we use the power of this cell to repair and damage whatever's in our body, any
Hmm.
disease, head to toe, from neurology to heart disease to liver disease to kidney disease to lung disease to arthritis to diabetes to autoimmune disease, you name it, any
Everything.
metabolic disease, because stem cells' job is to repair and regenerate. So
Hmm.
I'm simplifying it,
Right.
so the general audience can understand what is
Right.
stem cell and what is its role.
Yeah, no, that was so helpful. That was going to be my next question because I know you mentioned that the awareness has gotten better, but it's not everywhere. So I think that explanation is very, very helpful. How accessible is stem cell therapy if you needed to have it for treatment?
So our whole vision was to make it available to the masses. That's how we
Hmm.
started. As I told you, we started in the temple. Okay, so
Hmm.
it didn't start as a business. It was started as a kind of a God-given purpose. It's
A
divinely
mission.
ordained
Hmm.
project for me and Dr. Anand Srivastava, my partner. He's the chairman. I'm the president and CEO. So that was the goal, is to how we make it available to the masses, because it's most elite, expensive, and advanced science of mankind. How
Right.
can you do that? So in order to do that, we work with the different world governments, help them develop their stem cell policies for their country, stem cell transplant program, stem cell research program. So that allows you to work with a larger number of the larger number of people and the government bodies. That gives you access to infrastructure, money, and at the same time also the people. So that's
Hmm.
how we started top down approach to working with
Got it.
go to the top and then work your way down so that you can reach. So how do you make the most expensive science available to the masses? Means you have to figure out ways to take it to the masses now. So
Hmm.
that's where the government comes in, where they would develop the programs. For example, in India, we've been working for many years in India with the Indian governments and on the private sector as well. So we're developing world's largest stem cell treatment hospital in India, in one of our state there, and where I'm from, and bone marrow transplant that we've been
Hmm.
practicing for last 40 plus years, and it's a well established clinical practice for lymphoma, leukemias, for blood cancer, thalassemia, sickle
Hmm.
cell anemia. So we're developing this program. It cost about $250,000 in US
Wow.
to just get started, and it's of course FDA approved, and insurance pays for it and all that, for blood cancers only. So we're developing that program for that particular hospital in India, where we're bringing costs down from 250,000 to 25,000, and probably
Wow.
maybe 15,000 or less. Okay,
Wow.
so that is the power of working together with the governments, and as a researcher, and as also which, and we have a maximum clinical experience as well, doing this for last so many years, and being hardcore researchers allow you to bring the costs down to do a lot of creative work around it. And that's what we are talking about, bringing the cost down to almost 90 to 95%, and
That's incredible.
eventually have that also financed by the governments, so the patient will pay $0. So
Hmm.
that's what we're working on to make it happen. So think about it. In my state, in India, where I'm from, then this program is being developed for the tribal people who are very poor,
Hmm.
particularly because they're tribal people. So they don't have an idea who's Devon or what is stem cell, or forget about stem cell. They may not even understand much about modern medicine. They're suffering from sickle
Right.
cell anemia or thalassemia. But they will get the access. You told about accessibility and
Right.
availability. So they will have access to the most modern and most advanced science and treatment at almost no cost or zero cost, because government pays for and subsidize it.
Hmm.
So that's how we're trying to do it: accessible, available,
Yeah.
and affordable. And same thing we're trying to do in a private sectors, where people can go to a lot of our facilities in Mexico, Costa Rica, India, and we're developing in the Middle East and in Asia and also Europe. So there are a lot of facilities coming up. We already have a lot of facilities, hardcore research facilities, and also stem cell treatment facilities.
That is absolutely incredible, and I think the fact that you are bringing this to people in places that are not even aware, like you said, of some of the modern medicine that's out there, and then giving them access to cure these diseases is just beautiful and amazing. But I would imagine that it's also come with some hurdles too. So can you talk through some of the hurdles that you guys have had to face in order to work towards your mission?
There's nothing in the life that is without hurdles. But our lives were
Mm.
very simple. We just decided to do it, and we just did it.
Yeah.
Just kidding. And everything
If
worked out the way
only.
it's supposed to be. Yeah.
Of course.
So it was never the case. You know that. And life in general. Forget about work. Forget about science. Life in general.
Absolutely.
It's always
Yeah.
ups and downs. There's a day and there's a night. There's a joy and there's a sorrow. Then there's a
Hmm.
all that out there. So we live in this duality world. So it'll be always there. And same thing in our case. Nothing. We're not
Yeah.
considered ourselves very special, but yes, we had a very special hurdles that normal people would not have, because this science.
Right.
When my partner, Dr. Anand Srivastava, started publishing his findings in 2001, 2, 3, 4, I'm talking about 20 years ago, 20,
Yeah.
24 years ago, and he kind of gave a message that these are kind of a science that they may bring the cures at one day. That
Hmm.
doesn't mean you're canceling out the modern medicine. Modern medicine is needed. If you have you break something, you need a surgery. You have
Hmm.
a tumor, it has to be removed. So modern medicine has its place. It needs something to jumpstart. If somebody has a very much
Right.
fever and cold and whatever, you need that modern medicine to bring the temperature down. All that is needed. We're not putting down modern medicine, but modern medicine
Right.
has its own limitation. Modern medicine has some side effects, all that, but that's all we know so far. Now we know something better.
Yeah.
Now we know we can actually go to the root cause and get rid of those diseases. So now we're bringing the new modalities. Nowadays, every university in any country, every you go to, they are in the cell and gene therapy research, and
Hmm.
there are hundreds of clinical trials with US FDA in Europe and Asia going on for many, many different diseases. So this is not a new science anymore. It's not a future. It is
Right.
here. And difficulties in the beginning was kind of pharma maybe thought that if these science would come, who's going to buy our pills? But
Yeah.
so that created a little resistance 20 years ago. I'm talking about, not
Hmm.
now. Now it's very well established science. Billions and billions of dollars funded by governments, billions and billions of dollars funded by private sector. So it's not an issue. But at that time, there are a lot of hurdles where we had to do a lot of things. A very interesting fights we fought,
Yeah.
and somehow we got lucky, and we survived, and we thrive, and we've been able to do this science. I don't want to go into detail, but yes, there are a lot of troubles, not a normal troubles.
Yeah. Yeah.
In terms
I
of
can
funding, in
imagine.
terms of able to do the science, in terms of whether you can come up with a better solutions or not.
Hmm. Yeah, I can imagine those hurdles were very unique to what you guys are facing. But like you said, in life, all of us go through so many different hurdles. What would you say kept you pushing when things got tough and kept your head down, just wanting to continue to work towards it?
Everybody says you want to do something, that you do something that you love,
Hmm.
then it's not a work.
Yeah.
In my case, it was even beyond love, or love work on something that you love to do or
Hmm.
you wanted to do. It's not about that. It was much beyond me. It wasn't about
Bigger
me.
than you. Hmm.
Yes, it was a purpose driven life, and God showed me the light at the end of the tunnel, that you can do something that really, in a very fundamental way, change person's life, because you're taking somebody's disease away. When you do that, you're not helping that person, you're helping that entire family. Let's say
Right.
in today's nuclear family, you have father, mother, and kids, and father or mother is having some terminal disease, and you get rid of them and you give them a life.
Yeah.
You're not taking care of that person, but the
Yeah.
wife or husband and children, and you're allowing that family and that life to thrive. That is much
Yeah.
more beyond you. And when you
Mm-hmm.
see a lot of sufferings, because I travel around the world, I have hospitals and everything, and I've seen
Mm-hmm.
so much suffering, especially in a physical level, because the disease does not start in your body. Disease start at a
Right.
very higher level. Okay, the physical expression of a disease is the last expression of it, not the
Yeah.
beginning. It starts very high up in your psychosomatic or subconscious, and eventually that turns or express itself into the physicality.
That's disease. Yeah.
So if we can take care of the little bit of that physical problem, or a
Mm-hmm.
disease, whatever we want to call it, it will make a huge difference, because a person can go out there and work and earn the life and take care of the children, and raise the wonderful tomorrow's leaders.
Right.
And so it wasn't about me, it wasn't about loving it, it wasn't about this is going to change the world or not, nothing like that. It was
Yeah.
much more spiritual, much more it was more of a vision that was downloaded into
Yeah.
you, and you're empowered to do that, regardless of how tough it gets, how difficult it gets. Otherwise you cannot keep doing it for I'm doing it for
Right.
23 plus years, right?
Right.
And not tired. I'm still thinking is we're just scratching the surface, we haven't started yet.
Exactly.
So it has to be beyond you, then you
Mm-hmm.
can sustain it, then you can. And when not only you can sustain, then the universe around is allowing you to sustain it. It's not you. You see, it's
Yeah.
not about you. So it is all the universal energies come in there and sustaining you and guiding you and empowering you and encouraging you to keep going, because you're never looking back, because it's not about you. It's about
Yeah.
you're into this boat that is going at full speed, and you're just a little part of that huge mission, or this big
Mm-hmm.
caravan that is on its way to do wonderful things. And it's not about also end results. It's
Yeah.
what you can do along the way, and how you persistence and consistency. Anything you do is very important, but you have to put your heart in it. Then mind will
Yeah.
follow.
I no, I that was so beautifully said too. And I there's a few things in there that I love. So one, it's not about you. So take yourself out of it, become more selfless and be almost like a just something that the work is coming through rather than it being about you and the impact that you are personally making. It's about serving those around you and being able to make an impact in their life. And then also that it's about the journey. It's not about getting there and doing the thing. It's about the journey of that and creating yourself and the skills and the people that you're meeting and the impact that you're having. So it's going along the way rather than arriving at the finish line. I
And you
love
may
that.
never arrive. You may never arrive.
Right.
That's the whole
Well, as
point.
you said,
You
yeah,
you
as
may
you
never
said, you're just
arrive.
scratching.
It's just you don't know even. And how do I know that this is my path? How do I know this is my journey? How do I know this is my purpose? People always ask like, "Oh, I have to have a purpose in life." I said, the
Right.
way you are, what you are doing, it in itself, your breathing is more important. You woke up this morning, that in itself is a miracle. Forget
I
about
love,
the purpose and this whole destiny and a whole journey. You just woke up. Is there a guarantee that I'm going to wake up tomorrow morning when I go to sleep tonight?
right.
There's no guarantee.
Right.
So when you just be yourself in that present moment, in that moment, giving it everything, and you're living the entire life in that moment,
Mm-hmm.
that's when you become one with everything around you. And that's where you're now tapping into the higher powers, or the higher frequencies, the higher universal consciousness, whatever you want to call it. It
Mm-hmm.
is when you're living that entire life in that moment, in every moment,
Yeah.
then you become larger than life. Then you don't matter. your
Right.
purpose don't matter.
Right. Yeah, no, and I think that that's actually something that I want to dive into because as you're saying that about be present in every single moment, I feel like that's easier said than done in today's society because there's so much noise, there's so much going on around us. There's social media, there's news constantly, there's your brother's problem, your best friend's problem, whatever it might be. There's all these things that are constantly trying to pull us out of just being present in that moment. So talk to me about that. How do we get more present and be more present to start just living life in the moment?
Don't try it.
Yeah,
Don't try it. Yes, it's my
just do
brother's
it.
problem. I'm in it and I'm taking
Yeah.
care of it. Oh, I have my friend's issue. I'm in it fully and doing it. I have to pay my bills, and that means I have to work, and that means I have to make money, and then I have to take care of my kids, and I have to take care of my family. You forget about how to do it. You have to be in everywhere, everything you can do, whatever you can do. And when you put your 1,000%, people say, "Oh, I'm with you 100%." I said, "You don't even qualify."
I love
You
that.
have to be 1,000% in it.
Hmm.
I even tell in our organization, a person who's cleaning the floor. I said, "Look, when I was cleaning the floor, I was always thinking that there's nobody can do this better than me cleaning the floors or cleaning the dishes. Oh, I do
Hmm.
this way and I do this. Everything, whatever you do, you take tremendous involvement and concentration
And
and
pride.
focus. When
Hmm.
you do that, automatically the floor will shine. That means automatically your life will shine. That means automatically everything will be reflected. And your shine reflects back onto you. So you are more brighter
Yeah.
because you did it and you did it with full heart. And when you put your heart in it, your mind follows it. It's not your mind, your heart has to follow your mind. It's the other way around. Mind has to follow that heart, and the heart is
Hmm.
always pure. And heart, when you do something with your heart, means it is absolutely pure. It's all about love, care, compassion.
Yeah.
That's what heart chakra is, right? And when you
Hmm.
do that with that much force of love, care, compassion, whatever you want to call it, mind will bring all the focus in there, and then
Yeah.
you will clean the best floor than anybody else.
I love that. Yeah, I think that that's beautiful too. And being in alignment is when everything around you then starts working for you too, right? That manifestation, that higher energy. Once you become fully aligned, things around you just start to blossom.
Yeah, my father always said that your thought, your words, and your action, you know
Hmm.
when the more aligned that is, more manifestation powers you have. Your
Hmm.
thoughts, your words, and your actions, when they are all aligned, and that is not going to happen in one day. I'm 53. I'm practicing this for 53 years. I'm still not
Yeah.
there. I'm
Yeah.
still not there. So when that alignment, and once in a while you have that alignment and you
Of course.
manifest things, and you're like, wow. That wow has to be reminded to you every time, like, oh, at work. And it's not hard. It's not hard. Alignment is not hard. It's just we make it very difficult. Means
Right.
you have to be pure with your intention.
Hmm.
When you're pure with your intention, the your mind, your words, and your action aligns automatically.
Hmm.
Again, we make a big science out of it. There's no
Yeah.
science out of it.
Yeah,
When
you're
you're
like very simple, just three
yeah,
things. Just take those three things and work on those. And like you said, though, it is a practice because there are these external factors and human nature. I think we naturally tend to go.
get
We'll
you
get
get
pulled off
pulled.
track, right? And so it's so important to just continue to practice that. And just having this conversation with you is such a good reminder for myself because I've definitely been slipping, like just dealing things with behind the scenes where I'm stressed or things are not straightforward right now. I've got a lot of changes going on and I've absolutely allowed myself to get caught up in that rather than being aligned, right, with my words, my thoughts and my actions and my heart. I know I have great intentions with what I'm doing and what I'm working on, but it can be so hard when these like external stressors come into play. So having this conversation is hugely helpful to me. So I appreciate that from you like
Thank
so
you.
much.
and,
Yeah.
and I'm appreciating you as well because that is helping me
Yeah. Yeah.
talking to you, right? And how do you again bring that alignment? Pure intention. When
Yeah.
your intention is pure, alignment happens. Let's say you want to go out today and beautiful sunny day, which is today here, and you want to go to the beach, and
Mm-hmm.
you want to walk there. What is that pure intention feels inside your heart? It's like, oh, it's so beautiful, it's so sunny, the water will be so great. So your intention is so pure, your
Yeah.
thought that, oh, this is beautiful, your words like, oh my god, this will be, the beach will be so cool. So your action will follow automatically
Yeah.
because that intention is so coming from your heart, because you're feeling so good, you're feeling so empowered, enlightened, whatever you want to call it. And
Mm-hmm.
when you, so that is what I'm saying, we make complex sciences out of it.
Yeah.
Life is very simple, it's very basic. It is,
Yeah.
does not require you to go to university. It does not require you to
Right.
read too many self-help book. It does not require you to take the courses, how to get your life or your business in alignment. Nothing. It is simple, pure intention. Your thoughts, your words, and your action will follow. Whatever you want to
Mm-hmm.
do, good, bad, or ugly, it works in everywhere. Your subconscious
Yeah.
doesn't differentiate in anything.
Yeah.
As long as there's intention, it works. And today's, even after pandemic, we are suffering from the stresses that we don't
Mm-hmm.
even know we have. There are
Yeah.
stresses that we know, this problem, this issue, that thing, and that bill, and all that, and my business going down, all that's there. On top of it, we
Mm-hmm.
have stresses that we have built up after pandemic that we even don't know what we are suffering from.
Right.
So it is so important. It is so important to calm down. And we're bombarded with thousands of things,
Mm-hmm.
the social media and that. And I don't know how many things. I was only on my email, and then I was forced to get onto my WhatsApp, and then I was forced to get onto the LinkedIn, and I like,
Yeah.
okay, that's good enough. I don't think I can handle much more than that, and still I'm very behind in that too. And I'm not saying stay behind in technology. Use the technology at your advantage. And now we have AI on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
the is as more technology comes, two things happen: you get freed, and you have
Mm-hmm.
more time to really do alignment,
Yeah.
or you get dumber.
Yeah. Right.
You get dumber and dumber. You get
Yeah.
lazier and lazier. If you are
Yes.
not in alignment, you are just not using your brain enough. But people
Yeah.
like you and me might have a more time that will allow us to do alignment and to
Yeah.
really refine that human being,
Mm-hmm.
that or that soul that lives in this beautiful temple, we call it our body.
Yeah.
It will allow that soul to really give it a time to really think, what is that soul came down to do that, and you came for that specific purpose, and it
Right.
doesn't have to be the greatest purpose, and
Yeah.
the biggest and baddest, and it has nothing to do with just to live a simple, beautiful life with all the ups and downs,
Mm-hmm.
but tremendous containment and tremendous gratitude in your heart. That is a life well lived.
Yeah.
Doesn't Nobody needs to know that you never existed. Nobody needs to know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's a very different way of looking at it too, because I think a lot of times that we as human beings feel like people, like we want to be known, like we want to make an impact, and I think that
Me
that's
too, me
beautiful.
too.
Yeah. Right. And I think so many of us do, but also you're right, on the flip side, if you just go through life enjoying life, living life for yourself, through your heart, for your family, whatever it might be for you, that's also absolutely fine. Not everybody has to feel like go on this big mission driven purpose, right? And make this big life and big impact. It is okay to just go through life and choosing happiness and gratitude and all of that without living this big thing, if that's not what you feel you need to do.
Yeah, I'll tell you a simple thing happened last night. In the middle of the night, I felt like my wife's nose was a little stuffy. So, I got up and got the water for her. I said, "Hey, drink a little
Mm-hmm.
bit of water, you feel better." And she drank water and she went to sleep, right? And in the morning, she just kissed me on my cheek while I was sleeping and said, "Thank you
Mm-hmm.
for bringing me the water." It is that
Oh,
simple.
yeah.
It is that beautiful. It is
Yeah.
that uncomplicated.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't do anything special.
Yeah.
She didn't do anything special. But what it created a most special moment
Yeah.
in that
Very
middle of
sweet.
night. Yeah,
Yeah.
right? Nothing special created the most
Yeah.
special moment. Nothing special that created the most beautiful memory. Nothing special that created that bond even stronger
Mm-hmm.
without you trying. Did I
Right.
do anything special? No.
Which is just a reminder to pay attention to those little things. And I think that that's a way that I've at least practiced trying to have more gratitude is acknowledging the things like you said. Like, I actually think I can hear birds chirping near you. I might be wrong, but it sounds like
You
it.
are. You are.
Even noticing something like that is like, what a beautiful thing. Or like seeing the sunny sky, just acknowledging those little things along the way. Your spouse or your partner, whoever it might be, they do something little for you. Acknowledge that and build the gratitude from that, and then realize that there's so many little things that go on throughout your day to be grateful for.
Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude.
Yeah.
When you live in that gratitude filled heart, it's never going to get scarred. When you
Mm,
live that gratitude filled heart, it's never going to get jealous. When you live that gratitude filled heart, it's never going to be a trouble. Because in the
right.
trouble, you're finding a gratitude because that situation is making you a better person. It is allowing you to explore more what you're made out of that you did not
Yeah.
know yesterday. It is simple. It is not complicated. It doesn't require years and years of wisdom. It is so simple. Life is not complicated. And same with the business. Doesn't matter what business you do, it is all about people. It is
Yeah.
all about how you make that person special, how
Yeah.
your gratitude or your gratitude field energy affects people around you. And when you live that gratitude field life, your energy circle is so huge. People get into it and
Right.
they feel that. I'll tell you, I have offices all over the world in different facilities, and where there's a special office, it's in India in my one of my facility over there, and I have a beautiful photo of some deities and all that stuff. And people have come there and they just start tearing. I
Yeah.
haven't even talked to them. They enter in my office and they get teary eyes and they tell me things that about their life that they have never told to anybody. And I
Yeah.
haven't even asked. So when you vibrate with that kind of energy of
Yeah.
gratitude, that kind of energy of care and compassion and love and the attitude of giving, always
Mm-hmm.
giving, I'm
Mm-hmm.
telling you, nobody can take anything away from you. They always give you something. In my
Yeah.
life, nobody has taken anything from me.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, good, bad, and ugly, they all end up giving me something. Nobody took anything away. And when you go with that attitude of giving, somehow I end up receiving.
Right.
Even when I go to investors meeting, I don't go with like, okay, I wanted to raise $250 million, or how I'm going to talk about them and all that. Nothing. I
Right.
go there with the same blank sheet of mind, pure heart, that how am I going to give them, what am I going to give them?
Mm-hmm.
And I always end up taking something. End up not taking, I end up receiving
Receiving.
something.
Right.
Something. You apply that in your business. If you talk about business,
Mm-hmm.
how do we make your business better? How do you do better business? How do you do better, more profitable? How do you do, expand your business? How do you scale your business?
Mm-hmm.
Again, fundamentals, basics, nothing
Yeah.
complicated. You don't need to read all those complicated business books. There are accountants who knows how to do P&L. Okay, there are
Yeah.
attorneys that know how to do your contracts. There there are people who know all those things.
Yeah.
That doesn't matter. That's just the peripheral things. It is your pure intention
Mm-hmm.
of what you want to do. Let's say I'm selling flowers on the street. Okay, it's a business and I'm buying it for $5, I want to sell it for $10. My intention is not, okay, I'm going to make $5 on each flower. My intention is that how I'm going to give this flower to this person who's going to brighten that person's life.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
hopefully in return, it reflects on me. That could be
Mm-hmm.
in terms of them appreciating me. And instead of giving me $10, maybe they give me $20. because the intention you gave
Yeah.
that flower with the intention matters, and I guarantee you will get $20, not 10.
Yeah.
I
Right.
have
So the
done that. I've
intention,
done that again and again.
yeah. So the intention of providing value with expecting nothing in return, I think, is a huge thing for people to think about. Is just like you said, that giving attitude,
Yeah.
constantly thinking, how can I provide this person with value? How would, if you hire somebody new on your team, what's the benefit of them being around you? What value do they get? Do they get to excel in their career? Do they get to learn a new skill that will then propel them forward in their future? It's constantly thinking about how you can provide value to those around you. And then on the flip side of it, which you mentioned, is you usually end up receiving. You'll go into a meeting giving value or whatever it might be, but then you end up receiving. And I think a lot of people are afraid to receive. They're afraid to, you hear it all the time, just if we go very, very small scale, compliments. Somebody might tell you, "You look so nice today." And immediately what do? We say, "Oh, no, 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 like I just do this. I've had this in my closet for 5 years. I just threw it on today." Or if somebody has said to me, "Hey, your hair looks really nice today." I'll be like, "I washed it." And I just, like, you brush it off. You don't actually allow yourself to receive that compliment. So, and I think that that can be something that maybe holds us back too from continuing to receive if we're constantly just brushing those things away. So I think it's so important to just draw light to the fact that we need to also be okay with receiving these things when they do come our way.
Right. And a very interesting thing happened in terms of receiving. I was wearing this particular suit, and I was walking into San Diego convention center inside from one end to the other, and then I walked very
Mm-hmm.
fast because I walk with intention.
Yep.
So I went from one end to the other end of the convention center. It was probably half a mile or maybe quarter mile,
Mm-hmm.
very fast because somebody was going to meet me at the other end, and I entered from this end. While I went there with that force, with that intention and focus, and I need to reach that end of it, and talk, 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 right? Well, then somebody, and then that person say, "Oh no, come back to this door." So I walk
Yeah.
back with that force, and there are people who are standing there, right? And this guy shouted at me because convention center corridors are
Yeah.
like 40, 50 feet wide. So he shouted at me from
Mm-hmm.
the other end of the corridor, like, "Hey man, I've never seen somebody with that cool of a suit. Now,
Hey.
now I can be happy." And I said, "Hey, great." Or I said, "Thank you," right? I walked towards him with that same
Mm.
force. And I introduced myself. I said, "I'm Devin, and and what's your name?" And I said, "Look, this is so cool of a suit. Would you like one?
I love
I can get
that.
one done for you."
Yeah.
Now, do you have to do that? No. But I felt so good, because he
Yeah.
shouted all the from the other end of the corridor. I felt so good. I said, "Hey, this is what it is. Hey, touch this." I said, "This is really cool material." And like,
Mm-hmm.
"Yeah, this is so cool." I said, "Would you like one? I can get one
That's
done
so
for you."
cool. That's so
And on
cool.
the other hand, the opposite flip side of the coin, when you said sorry to someone, then you give a
Mm.
reason. "I'm so sorry because my car broke." Then your
Mm-hmm.
sorry means nothing. Because by
Mm-hmm.
saying my car broke, you're given an excuse.
Shifted
You're
it.
given a
Yeah.
going away from that. Your sorry means you're sorry. "I'm
Yeah.
so sincerely sorry.
Mm-hmm.
What can I do to make it up to you?" Rather saying, "Oh, my car broke down, so now
Right.
I'm not. I don't need any
Responsible.
punishment. Yeah, or not. I'm
Mm-hmm.
responsible. You took that responsibility and give it to somebody else. Then what's the point of
Yeah.
sorry? That when you're sorry, you're sorry." And you said, "How do I make it up to you? How can I?" Whichever way that could be, and be genuine in saying that, because that person say, "Okay, I don't want to talk to you. I'm not gonna do this deal with you." Be ready
Mm-hmm.
for that.
Right.
And when you go with that intention of absolute sorry, usually the energies, because you're throwing those energies, it's not about your words. It's never
Yeah.
about words. It's the
No.
energy that you're throwing around that communicates, and that how people react majority time. I think, if I'm not wrong, I was reading some articles that it's all about, like, I think 60-70% it's all about energy, not the words in your body
Yeah, we
language. Yeah.
Yeah, we actually just did a workshop for one of our clients, and we were talking a lot about communication because we were with their leadership team, and only 7% of our communication is through our words.
Verbal. Oh, wow.
The rest
So,
is tonality and body language, aka energy. So,
right,
yeah.
right, right, right. So, I mean, when you're sorry, you've been sorry. You gotta
Yeah.
do it, and ready to pay for it. Anything, anything. My dad always says, I do all the risky businesses, complicated businesses. And one day we were watching a movie, and in that movie, this father and son scene came out, and they're talking, and the father was telling his son, like, you know what, I love you because you're so cool and you're so good, because not only you dream big, but you're ready to pay the price for your dreams, and
Hmm.
that's what makes me admire you. And then my father was sitting a little bit behind me and like, hey, that's you. I
Oh,
like you. So just your father to say that, right?
yeah.
And that scene comes up. I mean, so many synchronicities has to take place for
Hmm.
you to be sitting there, your father to be sitting there, and that scene, movie
Yeah.
scene on the screen where your father say, hey, that's you.
Yeah. Exactly. Yep.
So
And I love what you said about the intention too. Something that we talk about a lot is intentionally taking responsibility for everything around you. If something went wrong, take responsibility for that intentionally and try to learn from it. What can you take away from it to do something differently the next time? Or something goes great, take responsibility for that. Acknowledge the fact that you were able to maybe make something happen or figure out an issue, whatever it might be, but just being so intentional with what you're doing in all aspects of your life, like what you were talking about. Say sorry with intention, move with intention, connect with people with intention and pure intention at that. And I love that that has been a recurring theme, I think, through this conversation.
and you said the most important word that people miss. You said, in all aspects of my life.
Mm-hmm.
That is the most important intention you said, because when I pray, I said, bless me in my every aspect of existence.
Yeah.
I'm not this. I exist in so many different aspects of this life we call life.
Right.
This is just the one aspect of my existence. So I said,
Mm-hmm.
bless me in my every
In every.
aspect of existence. So that
Mm-hmm.
is the most important understanding you have. And I admire you for having that understanding and knowing that, and even talking about it and bringing into this conversation. That is awesome. That is so good.
I appreciate that. I'll receive that. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
um, yeah, though it is. It's so important if we're gonna if for those of you listening, you want to achieve something great, you want to make an impact, taking responsibility and moving with intention throughout your life, right? And in all those aspects is so key to allowing you to live out the life that you want, the life that you've envisioned for yourself, the life that you're meant to have. So that it is. This has been a great conversation. I feel like a lot of people are going to get a lot out of this. I have a couple more questions for you.
Sure.
What impact do you want to have made when you are gone?
I get that question all the time.
Mm,
And my answer is, I don't want even someone to even remember that I've ever existed on this earth. I've been given this
interesting.
mission. I've been given those energies, and I've been empowered, and I want to pass on those blessings to others and move on. I don't even want to be remembered that I've ever existed by anybody, because
Wow.
I am nothing. We make ourselves too big.
Mm,
You're just a part, just like our body. Our body made of so many stem cells, trillions of stem cells, and each
mm,
stem cells think they are individual. No, they are this body that you're seeing called Deven. This my skin cell doesn't know that that's Deven. My heart cell doesn't know that's Deven. My liver cell doesn't know that's Deven. But actually, they all together make this body called Devon that you're seeing on this screen. Same
mm,
way, we are all interconnected. We are all part of the one big body. We just don't know. Okay? We are all one. Your sorrow is my sorrow. My joy is your joy. And when we connect at that level, at that frequency, life becomes so simple, and you don't matter anymore.
mhm. That is beautiful. I have never had somebody answer that question that way. Never, not once. So I appreciate that point of view on it. And I also, to go on like a little bit of a chat here about that, about being so selfless, like it's not about you. That is something that I think when we talk about leadership and leadership development and all of that, one of the biggest things a leader can do is take themselves out of the equation and make it about the people around them. What we were saying earlier about giving that value, teaching other people. You essentially need to learn how to replicate yourself and remove yourself from the situation so that you can go on and work on other things. And then you've developed these people around you. And in our communication, too, it's so important to remove yourself. It's not about your point of view. It's about communicating for the other person to understand the mission, the goal, the vision, whatever it might be. But we get so caught up in ourselves. Like you said, we make ourselves bigger than we really are. When you look at this world, we're so tiny. We are so, so small. And we all think that everything happening in our life is this huge problem or this huge inconvenience, or it may be on the flip side, really great things are happening, but in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter. It's not that serious. So I think that that is so interesting for you to have answered it that way of like,
Can I
I don't
add
just want to be
something to it?
remembered.
Can
Absolutely.
I add something to it?
Absolutely.
So when you are part of one big body, when you don't matter, I said, right? But
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, you are everywhere. So
Mm-hmm.
it's all about you because you are everywhere. You are connected, interconnected. All these stem cells, there are trillions of stem cells interconnected, created this body you see on the screen is Deven. Same way, you are also part of that humongous universal body and that universal power. You can call it a God, you can call it blessings, you can call it a super consciousness, you can say universal consciousness, you can call
Whatever.
it Christ consciousness, all that. So you are not that tiny, insignificant, you don't matter. Rather, you are everywhere. You're omnipresent.
I love
And
that
it's all
reframe.
about you. And you are the most empowered one. At the same time, you
Mm-hmm.
think you're insignificant one, but rather you're the most empowered one because you're part of the most universal, beautiful super consciousness, Christ consciousness.
That is a beautiful reframe. And I think something that I will start to shift to because while you were saying that, it can make you realize that what I just said about it's not that serious, like you're not that big of a deal, we're so small, that could be incredibly, I guess, disheartening for some people, right? To view ourselves that way. So actually reframing it and how you said it is like we're so small, but we're also everywhere and we're all interconnected, I think is a beautiful way to look at that. So I appreciate that a lot, hearing that
Yeah,
perspective.
you're made in his image. You're made in God's image. So that means you have that potential and you have that potentiality to be that universal consciousness. You
Mm-hmm.
have that seed, from one little seed, entire tree comes out from tiny little seed. So
Mm-hmm.
we have that potentiality of that beautiful tree that we can become.
Yeah,
So we're not that insignificant. We don't matter yet.
we
We
do.
are the only matter.
Yeah. It's such a like big concept really to grasp. I feel like those two things together because they're almost contradictory, but then they also go
Complementary.
perfectly together. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
so interesting. All right, my final question is what summit are you currently chasing?
I chase so many summits simultaneously.
Yeah.
The world wisdom is that chase just one summit, focus on it and make it happen. I am of a different point of view. We're full human being, but we've been defragmented. We've been fragmented in many, many different ways. Oh, you're a doctor, you're an architect, you're an engineer, you are a farmer, you are banker. But
Mm-hmm.
if you look back, our ancestors were they didn't even go to the university, but they built the most amazing cultures
Yeah.
and build empires. They were doctors, they were carpenters, they were engineers, they were farmers, they were business people, they were all in one. This new economy has defragmented or fragmented us.
Mm-hmm.
So we would have to come back and become a full human being. So once we become a full human being, you cannot chase one summit. That is very little use of your potential. So
Hmm.
I chase so many summit, but right now we are developing red blood cell from stem cells. So we're making blood out of stem cells. Okay.
Wow.
So it is a huge project. It has $100 billion a year market for the blood shortage. So we have created a technology where we are mimicking what's the way the blood is made inside of your body. We have
Mhm.
mimicked that outside in a bioreactor. There are three problems with the blood. If somebody needs a blood, it has to be matched type A, type B. If my blood doesn't match, I cannot give it to you. You cannot take my blood. Second problem is contaminants or disease may come through the blood. If there is a blood transfusion and you're taking somebody else's blood, there could be HIV and many other things can come through somebody else's blood. And the third problem is, do we have enough blood? We don't have enough blood. Do we have after collecting 100 million unit of blood, where you and I donate the blood at the Red Cross, we we have another 100 million shortage every year after collecting 100 million unit of blood. So we
Wow.
have solved all three problems. We have created universal grade O negative blood. It means it can go to anybody and everybody without matching, so no match required. It's created in a control environment in a bioreactor, so it's cleanest blood, no contaminants, no disease transfer. And third, unlimited resources, $100 billion a year market, and blood is needed no matter what, whether we have pandemic or war or not. There's so much blood is needed in the surgeries, in many diseases you need a blood transfusion, trauma, many ways you need a blood. So we are now basically taking that company public, if possible, but the goal is to create an unlimited resource of the blood, cleanest blood, unlimited blood, so nobody has to die because of the shortage of the blood.
That is absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. That's so exciting. And just what an amazing thing for you guys to have figured out to how to create. And again, that accessibility that we were talking about at the beginning with the stem cell research and stem cell therapy and making it accessible for you guys now to level it up and attack the crisis of blood shortages is incredible. It's amazing, truly.
Thank you. You're very kind.
Where can everybody find you and Geostar?
They can find me on my LinkedIn, Deven Patel. My LinkedIn contact. Look for Deven Patel. There are so many Deven Patel, but you'll see me because it's the same similar pinstripe suit and photo that you will see.
Okay.
So you won't miss me.
And I will
or you
include
can
your
or
links
you
too.
can go to our website, geostar.com, giostar.com, geostar.com, GIO, not GEO, giostar.com.
Perfect. I will include all of the links in the description. But thank you so much for being here today, Devin. It has been an absolutely amazing conversation. And I'm so excited to get this one out there because I think people will learn a lot and take so much away. So thank you for your time today.
Thank you. And Adriana, you asked the most important questions that made this podcast what it is. It is without your question, it would have been not the way it came out.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And that wraps up another episode of Voices of Impact. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you found value in our conversation, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. For more inspiring stories and actionable advice, make sure to hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode. Also, we would love to hear your thoughts and takeaways, so please leave us a comment below. And remember, no matter where you are on your journey, you have the power to climb higher and chase your summit. Until next time, Summit Chasers, keep pushing forward and stay inspired.